Brother,
Buck McManus.
Buck McManus, and Buck's past 80 a little bit. He's our oldest brother. And this is Opal.
I'm glad to be here today, and I thank you all for coming, and I appreciate all you've done very much, and I've had a lot of fun today.
I'm Clara Graham. I'm a cousin, and I really enjoyed the meal.
I'm C.D. Graham, Ed Graham's son.
Uncle Jack?
I'm Jack Williams, fan of C.D. Graham.
Now we're over to Pam.
Oh, I'm Pam Bullock. I'm daughter Debbie, and I'm Jean's granddaughter.
Where's she at?
I don't know. We're
Out
on
back.
Pam.
She's out in the office.
Jackie said to CD's chauffeur.
Where's that?
I don't know.
There she is.
Okay, now we're down to Joanne. She's the one behind the camera.
And we have Rosetta behind the camera. We got two here. And
Gotta get Mary Lou.
I'm Mary Lou Cochran, Bud McManus' daughter.
She's Opal's cousin, yeah. Okay, now we can get Rosetta.
I'm Rosetta. I'm Joanne's daughter, Buck's granddaughter.
Okay, with the front.
I'm Fern McManus. I'm Buck's wife.
Now what we kind of wanted to do, all of these folks have been together during a lifetime. They've all grown up together. We've known each other since the siblings, of course, have grown up together. But Clint was part of our life, and Mary Lou was part of our life. So we'd kind of like to talk about the early times a little bit and then come on up. Let's start talking about maybe Mountain View. Tell us some of the things you remember about Mountain View and the house. Did Dad build that house?
No, he didn't build that. He built the old round top barn, but not the house. It was concrete block, two-story house. That was a pretty big house at that time, but
It was
anyway, we
fancy.
tried to fill it up anyway.
You did. Okay, now was Lavina born there, or was Lavina already born when we moved there? I was born there.
Yeah, Amaji and you was born there, but Opal and Lavina and myself was born elsewhere.
Okay, now
Going down Stratford, weren't you?
uh down around Gailey.
Yeah, Gailey. I started school at Gailey, and so I must have been about around 6 years old. But anyway, that was quite a long walk for a fella who's 5 years old.
When you
or
went to
six,
the, that was
got
the
a
log
schoolhouse.
schoolhouse. Yeah. Yeah. So now you remember the move to Mountain View.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
quite well.
You,
The snow was belly deep to a horse.
you walked it, didn't you, Buck?
You had to break trails from Carnegie to Mountain View, and of course that's just a little old hop, skip, and a jump today, but it was quite a long while, especially if as I said, the snow was belly deep to a horse, and they'd taken 4 horses and broke the trail coming from town out to the house. And them horses was down the wall and all over each other and everything else, but I guess it all come out for the best.
But you couldn't make it in one day.
Drive cattle, they drove cattle.
Yeah.
Drove some of the
Couldn't
cattle.
make it in one day, Trudy.
Couldn't make it in a week then, under those kind of conditions. If sunshine real pretty on the first half day out, and then boy, it went from bad to worse. So the snow was almost impossible for anything else.
But you had a car at that time too, as long as
Was
the wagon and team.
On the wagon and teams.
You took
the
2
car.
wagons and teams.
Well, Newt Hilton had brought the car on, and Mama and the baby to start with.
Okay, okay.
But we was a week, 7 days on the road up to Carnegie.
Oh my goodness.
Then
Who was the baby?
Huh?
Who was the baby?
Lavina.
Ah. How long did it take you to get from Carnegie to Mountain View, Daddy?
I don't know.
Never sure.
What it was, we moved in with Uncle Walter and breaking that trail quite a while till the horses give out in the daytime, and then they go back and start again tomorrow.
Oh, my.
Break the trail a little ways farther, and
Well, it was winter time because you got possession of the place up there the first of
first of the
January.
year,
I
yeah.
see, I see. Had you
And
been
then-
up there before to see the house and see the place, or was that your
No.
first time to see it?
No, that's the first day, and they're breaking snow.
How many cattle did you move?
7,
7 head.
yeah.
And Opal, what do you remember about that trip?
Well, I was only about 4 or 5 years old at the time, so Buck had to have been 8 or 9. So,
I can't hear you, Opal. I can't hear you.
I was about between 4 and 5 years old at the time, and Buck was 8 or 9 when he made the walking trip, and I was in the backseat of an old Dodge touring car. I think it was Dodge, no, maybe it wasn't Dodge.
Yeah, it was.
Star, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Star, a Star car.
Star or
Star.
Dodge?
there's a Dodge, open air garage.
The part that I remember mostly was that at that time, our main entertainment was Daddy would pick and play a guitar. And my job was to take care of that guitar so that when we got where we were going, we'd have music. And, no radio, no TV, no entertainment whatsoever on the farms. And after evenings, when the work was done, we'd sit on the back porch and he would play and sing and we'd join in sing with him.
He had a good voice too, didn't he?
So I was so happy to have that job because I knew if it got broke, we couldn't replace it. We wouldn't have any music or no singing.
No
So that's
money
the
either.
part.
No money either.
No money to replace it, yes. So I was very careful of that guitar, more so than my little sister Lavina. Mother was driving part-time, sitting up front, and most of the time, I think, or a lot of the time. And so my job was kind of between the baby and the guitar. I imagine I took better care of the guitar.
Then you did the baby?
Just thinking back.
Didn't like it?
That was my memory of the trip. And I thought that house was just great because it was roomy and we had been living in a small house. And this had an upstairs. At that time, with a child of that age, running up and down the stairs, you can imagine. I thought that was great.
Well, we're at Clint and Clara now. Clint, you kind of remember a little bit about the house in Mountain View.
Yep. Yeah, I was first staying with Uncle Larry, herding his turkeys for him. Uncle Larry had an old car there. I don't remember what kind it was.
Chrysler Airflows.
No, this was just an old car that was
Cut off?
one of his brothers owned and left there. But Uncle Larry told me, he said, "Now, if you can get that old car running," he said, "you can drive it." So I don't know how I did, but I did. I got the car to running. And every time I'd go out somewhere, and then he'd quit on me, and Uncle Larry'd have to go pull his car in. So then, back them days, Aunt Rose and the family would take a vacation. Uncle Larry'd stay there and take care of the stuff. So then they come back, well then Uncle Larry'd go take his vacation. So we left us, Uncle Larry left us there one day, he went on vacation. So I still tried to drive that old car around. And Aunt Rosie said, "Well," said, "we got to go to town and get some groceries." Said, "So you can drive your old car up there?" And I said, "Yeah, I can drive it up there, but there's a hill you had to come up just before you got to that house." And I said, "I don't know whether that car will make it up that hill or not." So, well, anyhow, we'll try it. So Aunt Rose and I went down, got some groceries, and started back. Had to go around a corner and then up that hill. Well, we started up that hill and got about 2/3 way up, and that's forward and went back down. Well, we tried that a couple of times, didn't make. So Aunt Rose finally said, "I'll tell you what," said, "I'll get out and stand right here." Said, "You drive the car that far, and when you get that far, I'll help push it over the hill." So that's what we did. I drove the car up there, and Aunt Rose to that side. When I got even with her, well, she running behind the house, and she pushed the car all over the hill.
Rosa did?
Yeah.
She pushed on me, I guess.
That was the Patton Hill, wasn't
The
it?
Patton
Yeah.
Hill, I would have had that. It was a little stiff.
Well, Claire got into the grant to the McManus family about what year? And
I
Graham
didn't know
family?
y'all till 45.
45. You were living out south of town then, weren't you? Out on Uncle Ed's place.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, we lived out there, yeah.
Put up with us for 55 years. You're no stranger to us.
Well, see, when I first got acquainted with it, Dad had the cafe on Wall Street,
Right, right.
and I worked at the laundry. And he brought his mother to the laundry, that's how I met him.
Is that how you met him? Sometimes that's interesting.
He was home on leave.
He's in the
He was
Navy.
in uniform.
Yeah, well, he had on some Dad's clothes when he come up, I didn't see him in his uniform till later. Well, he was a sailor.
You okay?
Where are you going?
No, close it over there.
Oh, close the other. Got it.
No, I'd open that one and it'll. She's gonna need the light.
I was thinking that was that trying to get you?
Okay, Aunt what do you remember about Mountain View?
We got one more over.
Lot of hard work.
Lot of hard work.
Lot of cotton picking, a lot of cotton chopping. That's all I remember.
Did you get in on the turkey raising?
Yeah, oh yeah.
And how many turkeys did Grandpa
2 years.
try to raise?
Oh, Ari never did nothing halfway. First year 100 or 2, and next year 2 or 300, you know. I mean, he set it on incubators. He, I don't know where he got the eggs. He got him a bunch of laying turkeys one year. Saved up all them eggs in incubators, and he put about 30 out with each turkey hen, and a lot of turkey raising. You had to herd them to get them down through there to eat up all the grasshoppers, you know, and keep them. You talk about herding turkeys. That's what you had to do all day long.
I didn't know
Stay
you
and
could
keep
herd
them going
turkeys.
across the road. And they kind of stay in a bunch, and you just didn't want them to. They just keep wandering, and when they get down close to the road where you didn't want them, you'd get in front of them and start turning them, and they'd amble on back and eat whatever was over in the next area. So he didn't keep them pinned and try to feed them. That would have took more feed than trying to let them get out and eat their own grass and the grasshoppers and the.
Now, by keeping the grasshoppers down, that probably helped your cotton.
Probably,
and your
sure
other
would
crops,
probably help the crops too, yeah, I'm sure it did. But he didn't let them go across the road or get everybody's fields and everything else, but.
Well, now, the reason he went to turkeys was he had planned on going back down to Gailey, where you were living, Mary Lou, and something happened. You were living on Dad's place down in Gailey. And that's it. Now, did you start the school down there?
Yeah, I went to school at Grady my first year.
Did we get?
And then we moved over to that close to Stratford,
Mhm.
over by Byers, over the mill. And then I went to Cottonwood, and then I graduated, the 8th grade out there and went in town. And bus picked us up and took me to see him.
And we had sold all the farm equipment. Now, do you remember that? Opal said she didn't remember it. Do
I
you
was in
remember when they had the
Kansas.
sale?
Yeah,
Yeah, they sold all
sold a
that.
bunch of household goods, sold everything.
Sold the cattle,
Yeah, he's gonna move. Back down to Stratford.
and then something
Maybe or
happened.
whatever.
Yeah. And
Deal fell
then he
through.
bought the turkeys and the incubators
For
and
2
hatched
years,
out
then
all
he
that. For
raised
2 years he
turkeys.
raised turkeys.
Now, I
That was-
remember the old house though, we lived in it at one time.
I think that's, yeah. I sure do. In fact, when Uncle Bud and them came back from Arkansas, y'all moved in there.
But that old house, I thought it was humongous.
It was kind of big.
And them
Well, I did
stairs,
too.
I
I
could
always
just
thought
see
it was
them
the biggest
now.
old house.
Well, there wasn't many two-story houses at that time.
Boy, it sure was good summertime sleep in that.
Yeah.
But cold in the wintertime. Hard to heat.
Didn't heat it. It was hard to eat. There wasn't a long room to heated the dining room.
A big old stove in the dining room area.
Coal stove.
It was cold, no wood. Huh?
What are you talking about?
And the
Mountain
barn
View.
was quite a ways from the house, what I can remember. There, the two-story house.
The what?
The barn was quite a ways.
It wasn't real close. It was a good jaunt.
And Buck, you got in on building that barn. Tell them a little bit about that. Don't you remember when y'all built the barn?
Yeah,
Okay. Whose idea was it to build the barn?
Daddy, the idea of wanting a round top barn. And he talked about that for years before he ever got started.
And there was just an old barn there, or a shed, right?
Well, there's a 3 compartment. We had cows we milked in one part, kept the horses in another part, and then the feed in the big
Right.
middle
It's like a
section.
new barn.
So it,
Whatever gave him the idea that he could build a round top barn, Daddy?
I had seen one somewhere from the road, probably, but I remember seeing one from somewhere, and so we got our heads together and figured out what we'd have to do and set a whole bunch of posts so to bend the timbers around to make the round
rafters,
top.
make the rafters. So you had to put the poles in a half
Used a
circle.
tractor and
Okay.
soaked them in water overnight and hooked the tractor onto them and bend them around and fasten them down, and then these 4 layers
You
high.
you made a jig, didn't you? How many rafters in that barn? 40?
I don't have any idea now.
Every one of them was three or 4 2x4s thick.
Stacked
I
together.
remember something about the
Bent,
barn.
bowed together and nailed together. And I don't know how, without cranes, I don't know, I remember seeing the rafters out there. But how in the world they ever got those rafters up above the frame of the barn? The
How
frame
did
of the
you
barn
hoist
was
them up there?
8-10 foot tall. Then how did you ever get the hoist those rafters?
We set a big high post in the middle and put a pulley on the top part of this post and just kept hooked the tractor onto it and we taken off and pulled the rafters right up and got them on top. We floored about 8 foot
Oh,
high.
okay,
We
you floored
it.
the
Floored
8
that.
foot, okay,
In
and
later
then,
years, we raised turkeys up there on that. Caused a good warm if there's any sunshine at all while you got on this
loft.
floor in the overhead up there.
Oh, yeah, because the center of the loft was 8 to 10 foot high by the time the curve come in.
And
Barn.
Opal, what do you remember about the barn?
I remember that,
She's wondering if Opal remembers when
Uh,
they were building it.
Dad went into, Mountain View, and they were going to tear down, a barn, horse barn. And, they told him that if he would, they were gonna build a bigger, better, nicer or something, I don't know. But anyway, they gave it to him or sold it to him very reasonable. I don't know if they gave it to him or sold it to him. But he acquired this
The sheet iron, wasn't it?
barn in
No,
the,
it was heavier than cheat on. It was real heavy. Maybe not quite a quarter of an inch, but it was bigger than thicker than, heavier than cheat on would be. And he tarred them. They had nail holes and everything else like. Cause it had been in a produce place in Mountain View.
So you had to go tear this all down before you could start building back.
Yeah, right. Had to go tear it all down, clean it all up, pull all the nails out of it and everything.
Were you big enough to get in on that, Opal? Were you?
My job was to straighten the nails. Now, you must remember this was Depression times, and we didn't have 10 cents to rub together, and even the nails were cheap. My job was to straighten the nails, and so they would bring them home like in the big tin buckets, the nails that they had pulled out, and so my job was to straighten nails so they could use them again. That's the part that I can remember. They'd be coming in with a load of this lumber and tin and stuff that they got from tearing down this building. And every time I'd hear the wagon coming with stuff, I knew I had another job. I hated to see them coming because, boy, I got to straighten more nails. I thought I never would get enough nails straightened to build that barn. My part was straightening the old nails for the barn.
How old were you, Ann?
I was well, let's see.
About.
Oh, you know, 10.
Les?
10 probably. 8 or 10 years old.
Last, talking about
10,
this
whatever.
beautiful this barn. Last time I was at Mountain View, it's still standing.
It was.
I don't think
a few
anybody
days
ever
ago
had the heart
when I
to
was
tear it
out
down.
there.
Yeah, I don't think they had the heart to tear it down.
It's still there.
But the house is torn down.
Oh, yeah, the
But
house
barn
was tore
is
down
still
years ago, but
This-
they've left that good round top barn.
and survived. It was a second-hand barn, you know, a used barn. to
And
start
never
with,
used.
And still standing.
What did you do out there in that barn, Opal? What was that for? How many
You know.
cows got milked out there?
I milked around 1,000 different cows and that.
Yeah, 20 to 25 twice a day, over and over and over.
We always milk from 12 to 20 cows.
Oh, my.
And so, morning and evening, you know, twice a day, by hand, and separated the cream with a hand turner separator. Of course, after I left home, that's how I got my strong arms. And that's how I got my good health, by exercising. But after we left, I always resented this. After I left home, and I wasn't gone about a year, they got electricity in there. And they got electric motors.
I beg to differ.
I said I had to leave. They wouldn't get one till I left.
I beg to differ, my dear. I beg to
As
differ.
long as I would turn it, why, it was okay. They didn't need electric.
But are you saying you were indispensable?
After I left,
8
then
years later, I still turn the darn
Well, then
thing.
they got electricity and electric motors.
Now, we have a dispute here, Ann.
I turned the darn separator many, many years, 8 years later. So she can't say that. I beg to differ. I blew it up.
It wouldn't have any.
You blew it up?
separation.
I blew it up.
You didn't have no
I'm the one that nearly
They
got
didn't have
killed.
anybody to milk the cows and bring the milk in while they wouldn't need to turn the separator.
How'd you blow it up?
But I know one
How'd
thing
you
I
blow it
know
up?
It
about Opal.
froze up
We
with
there
the,
one time and Opal had a date.
in the winter,
The guy
you know, it
come
froze
pick her
everywhere
up,
in the
and
house,
she was all
you know.
dressed up to
and,
go, but she hadn't milked cows yet. So Uncle Larry says, you let her milk them cows first before you go. And Opal had to go back in the house, put her clothes on,
Her milk
go out
goes.
and milk, and then go back and get dressed. And this little boy sitting out in the car waiting on her all that time.
And milking came first, didn't it? I'm Jim, want to tell
She had
something
to
about that
help milk
separator, I
them
think, yeah.
Well, I had better boyfriends than Opal. I had some of them come out there and help me milk the darn cows, and then Ari wouldn't let me go. That was worse. They got out of the car and come and help milk, and then Ari changed his mind. So,
What'd you do to the separator, Ann?
it was winter and it froze and I couldn't get it to turn at all. So Mama came in and poured hot water down through it. So that started turning, and later, ice had formed under the disc bowl. Do you know what the disc bowl is? And the bottom of the bowl. And I turned it and built up enough friction, turning it, that the ball of fire went out and blowed the disc bowl, the milk bowl, and the 10-foot ceilings, knocked a dent in them. And the little separator room was about this big. You could just barely get over there. And anyhow, when I turned it on and the steam went to coming and everything went to happening, I reached up, turned the milk off, walked out of the separator room and told Mother, there's something wrong with the separator. And about that time, kaboom. So if I had still been in that little old 4 by 6 room that we used, it was a pantry. It used to be a pantry that was used for our supper. I imagine this bowl would have come down and killed me.
This was an electric bowl. Electric.
No, it was. I was turning it. I was in there turning it. I caused the friction.
If that made it, you wouldn't be as bright as you are now.
And when I turned the milk on, what steam? It just went. So I reached out, turned the milk off, walked out of the room to tell Mother, it's not doing right. Something's still wrong.
Well, let me
And
ask
we had
Clint,
to
do you
come
ever
back.
have to milk cows, or were just us girls?
Just you girls. I never did.
Ari found another job for the men. The men's hands did not fit cow tits. Men's hands did not fit cow tits.
But everybody's hands hit those cotton bowls, didn't they?
Yeah, no, that didn't have a prejudice.
Well, I'm gonna have to tell one on myself up there too, on that 2-story house. Went down up there and it's pretty early every morning, boy, it's cold out that night, and I had to take a leak.
Yeah.
So I went over the corner and hid
Oh, no.
upstairs, and it run down on the dining room table.
You never had told me that.
I'm glad I was going.
That story was by Clint Graham.
If I hadn't already left, I'd left then.
For the tape, for the information on the background, he was visiting, he didn't live there.
If you'd have lived there, you could have sat down for a week.
After that.
Yeah, he'd been one of the kids.
And Bobby took him home.
That's where Grandpa back took you home.
That probably took all your wages for repairing that ceiling.
Yeah.
Well, about the car shed,
They probably
we called
called
it
it
a car
roof.
shed and didn't call it a garage. Who built the car shed?
I did.
Okay, I didn't know, I remember we
I
had
don't
a
remember.
garage, but
One over on the east side of the house.
on the east side of the house,
Double
the only
car,
one we
big
ever
double
had.
Well, you're the only one that ever had a decent car to put in it. That's
Manny's just deacon enough.
The rest of us never had a decent
Building
car,
was
so we
tearing
never
down
even thought about
there
a
in
car.
town to build it out of.
You got another one, or another building, or same building?
He never did.
Tore down the Stookies, they had a fire in there, and so.
I hope
I
you
don't
wouldn't
know.
have been steal that good car and go to Nashville.
If we had had the chance.
Bought it at auction, I'd probably go to the auction.
Well, there's been
He's
stories,
pretty good
yeah,
for that.
there's been stories about dances. How many dances did you go to in Mountain View?
How many dances?
How many dances?
A few.
I don't know.
Come on,
Levine and I was the one.
Fess
that
up.
dances.
fess up. Did you go to the Clemens dances?
He didn't dance.
Pat?
He didn't dance very much. He didn't like to
Okay, there's the dancer right there, huh?
Most of them was in Goaty Bowl though, wasn't it?
They didn't have them
Fort
dancing.
Fort Cobb,
So
yeah,
no.
most of them was in Fort
Come
Cobb
along.
for dances.
Well, I'll tell you about the dancers if you want to know about them. We would,
Somebody asked me about that here recently.
no, it wasn't about the dancers. I don't know where, he got married kind of early.
You had 2 left feet?
He got married
Oh,
kind of
but I mean, somebody asked me about the dances here pretty recently, but I don't remember who it was.
We got the car once a week and it was Saturday night and we were supposed to go to movies. So we'd tell the folks it was a double feature, you know, that we had to stay that late. So they'd make us go kind of early, so we'd have to be back by 11 o'clock. No matter, I mean, if we were out after 11, we were into it. We got grounded for a month. Our car, his was something wrong in the garage or something, and he came and got our car, like he broke my heart. He kept it, and he was supposed to bring it home. He didn't bring it home. He didn't bring it home. So, this is one of the craziest things I ever did. How far was it lived out there? 6 or 8 miles?
Yeah, by Carnegie.
Where you lived out that way between Mountain View and Carnegie, that place you farmed there one year?
Where you started there.
Whatever. It was about between 6
miles.
and 8 miles out of town.
Yeah.
So one day, I said, he's kept that car long enough. I've had to miss 2 dances or shows, whichever. So
2 Saturday nights anyway.
I got my girlfriend and we played hooky from school and was in high school at that time and walked.
To town.
No, walked to your house.
Well, it's in Mountain View, but they walked out to your place.
You wouldn't bring it home and you wouldn't bring it home? And you had our car. So,
And
you
your
remember
feet
the
were,
time? You don't remember. That's
your
too
feet
far.
were itching, weren't they?
My goodness, see,
I remember
it was all
taking
right
it.
if I danced 8 miles. But I had blisters on my hips when I walked out there and got that car. I never forgave you for that long time.
Now that she thinks about it, she's getting mad.
Getting mad yet?
Getting mad all over again.
Taking it, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5. And taking them to the dance down there and then bringing them back.
Yeah. But,
Well, our daddy used to call dances when there were square dances. Did either of you remember hearing him call a square dance?
oh no, honey, I was too
Who?
He didn't.
Daddy, when he'd call a square
He
dance?
didn't do that after I got in. After.
I don't specifically remember it, but yeah,
That was when
You've
he and
heard
mother
that.
first got married.
Well, we got him to call one day.
Clemens is over
I
there.
remember that out
They
there
had
paying.
lots of
Yeah,
dances
I
at
think
their
so.
place.
One time when they was having the dances there at Payne, Evelyn, I don't know how, we got even Daddy up there in the
We
first
got
place.
him up there, and we got him to call one square dance
Yeah.
at Payne's.
Oh.
And he remembered how to
He
do it?
remembered every one of the calls and how to do it.
And
Up
knew
there.
how to call it better than any of us knew how to square dance, it
That's
was
right.
dancing to it.
What's the name of that
He
place?
knew what he was calling, we didn't know what he meant.
What was the name
It
of
was
that
really interesting
school
to
up
hear him
there
call
on
it.
top of the hill there?
Star?
Star? Oh, no,
Oh, Payne School.
Payne School. Payne.
Up at Payne. That's where he
That's the
did.
one out there.
Yeah, when they lived out on
Where
Wild
Ida
Horse.
Jean lived in that
Teachers. Yeah, she did.
The only thing I remember about that, see, I was living in Kansas, and I came home on vacation or something, come down. And they were having a dance up there at Payne. Little neighborhood dance, remember that? You remember that? Big deal, big deal.
Well, I've been.
Big deal for us,
I
wasn't
was
it?
at the dances.
I remember
Yeah, I
one,
think Betty was
I
there.
went to the dances, not
Rhodey.
the box supper. I have.
Yeah, they had box
the
section.
county line.
But what I was
So
going to say,
uncomfortable in that
that
chair,
I
but-
remember about the dance up in Payne, was that accepted? I guess he was kind of supervising, I don't know, you know. Seeing what
Yeah,
went
I
wrong.
see it's mine
Chaperone.
here. See this thing.
And I said, now, Daddy,
Trying to find out.
I want to dance with you, mother, I've danced with you my whole life, and, no, sis, not, you know, he was, nope, I haven't danced in years, you know, and all that. And so I kept on at him, and I just kept on nagging at him, because I said, well, finally they played a waltz. And I said, now, I'm no good in you can waltz. So I got him out there on the floor, and he was just stiff as a board, and he was embarrassed to death. But I danced one dance with my dad.
Well, did your mother ever dance?
I don't know.
She didn't dance and she didn't play cards, but she sure did play dominoes.
I don't know that.
Yeah,
answer
she
to
sat
that.
with Bob
I
on
never
the
saw
bar.
her or heard her.
Played
I
those
never
dominoes.
saw her dance or heard her dance. And I danced one dance with my dad. That was funny.
Well,
Well,
Aunt Rosie
did your
didn't have
mother
a
and
whole
dad
lot of
ever know you
activity,
was going through
entertainment
dances?
things, did she?
No, not a whole lot, not a whole lot.
She wasn't like Grandpa. Grandpa was pretty
Grandpa was around.
pretty active in everything.
Opal, did your mother and dad ever catch on to you going to the dances?
I don't think they ever did. They did catch on to me playing hooky one day.
Oh.
I rode a horse to school, and the river bottom was, and there was the city park well. You can imagine it was just a river bottom and a road down there, and they'd go down there for picnics. They had picnic tables down there. And it was about a mile and a half out of town, down on the river, Washita, Red River, Washita. And so one afternoon, we took off. Well, one day I talked one of the girls to go with me, and I don't know, I had no reason, I don't even remember why, but I wanted to skip school one day. So I got talked, and I was riding the horse to school, so got her on behind my horse, and we didn't go to school. We went down to the park that day to see what it'd be like down there, and just messing around down
See
there.
who you find down there.
See who we'd find, yeah. We were looking for adventure. But I think it was just an afternoon. I think we took off at noon and just went down in the afternoon because I had to get back and get home at the right time that evening as though I'd just come from school. So we went down there on the river and at that park and messed around that afternoon, and it was a nice day and all. It wasn't cold. But there were some fishermen. Ray Clark.
Might have been.
I said Ray Clark. It might have been Ray
Fisherman,
Clark.
yeah.
But there were some fishermen on
That's
the
another
river
cousin
there.
for you, CD.
And somebody saw me that knew me
Uh-oh.
and told Dad.
The jig's up.
Boy, the jig. I got caught at that. Man, I got down the river for that. I thought he was gonna.
Well, do you remember the time we went to the dance and run out of gas and had to push the car home?
Don't remember that. We must have run out just before we got home.
Yeah,
Must have
we
been
pushed it nearly half a mile to the house, keep Uncle Laura from knowing it.
I don't know. Or it might have been that we killed the motor and pushed it so he wouldn't hear us come in. That might have been the
We pushed
pushing.
that car nearly half a mile.
Oh, I don't remember that, but
Who did the punishments in y'all's home?
Who did the punishments?
my dad, he could lay it on.
And there was something called a razor strop. You know
Oh,
what that is?
yeah,
Never
yeah,
got
yeah.
one.
That
I
it
never
just
did-
gives me the
I never
shivers
got a
up.
spanking from my dad all my life,
Oh.
but my mother thought I was made for her to whip him.
Oh, is that right?
Spank.
Now, isn't that different? They were brothers. Uncle Bud and my dad were brothers.
Now, I've seen him spank, get Ed and James, but he never did.
The girls?
No, he never did get me. I don't know about Maudie, she was so much older than I was.
I'm the second generation fire. He didn't lay a hand on me.
I remember
He
you, Daddy.
mellowed
You-
it. He
they-
mellowed it.
I just hugged him and kissed
You
him.
like Ann, said they love me, they didn't spank me.
They didn't spank me.
She just makes me so mad. Croak
No,
her.
I made the mistake of trying to stand up to Dad, and I couldn't outstare him. And he was bigger than me, and he was my dad, but there was one time that I defied him and got away with it. Only one time. You remember Tarzan?
Tarzan was his horse.
The horse. And it was Buck's horse, but he let me ride it, and I just thought Tarzan, that was the best saddle horse we ever had. And so, but Daddy, one year, he had a team of horses that he pulled the white bales of cotton out of the field with when it rained. He wouldn't take his tractor out there. He hooked the horses on because he didn't want to get his tractor stuck. And so he pulled the bale of cotton out of the field with the horses. But one of the horses died, and he just had the one horse, and then we had the saddle horse,
Right.
Tarzan.
Right.
So he hooked up Tarzan, which I thought my saddle horse, mine, because it was Buck's. But I was riding at school at the time, and I claimed it. And so he went out there and was going to try to make Tarzan hook up in this harness with the other workhorse and pull
Right.
that bale of cotton out.
Right.
Well, Tarzan wasn't going to do it. And she
Tarzan
balked.
wasn't a workhorse.
She balked. She wasn't a workhorse. She didn't understand this big bale of cotton heavy. You know what a bale of cotton looks like or weighs. Well, anyway, she balked. That made Daddy mad. And he took her out of there, and it was down there, I could see it, and he took her out of the harness and gave her a whipping. With the reins, whipped her. I mean, whipped her. And I just couldn't understand it. So anyway, when I think about today, I just get mad all over again. And so, he took Tarzan out and whipped her in my sight. And I just was fumed. And he finally put her back in and she pulled and they brought the wagon out up to the house. And Daddy got out and went in. She had broke loose something on the wagon. He went and got an axe.
You thought he's gonna kill her now.
He went and got an axe to fix whatever was broke on the wagon. To maybe one of the signal trees come loose or something. He was fixing it with that axe. And he went. I was still watching out the window when when he got the axe. I wondered why. I thought I was like, I wonder if he was going to finish her off. But anyway, I was still get pretty mad. And so when he got the axe and went out there and did whatever he was doing with it, and he went past Tarzan. And he, it was sharp on one end and, blunt on the other end. And he went past Tarzan and he took that blunt part, not the axe. And he hit her in the side, right in the stomach, with that blunt part.
Oh my
He was
Lord.
still mad at her. And she was just standing there shivering, because, I guess it's enough she'd been whipped, but when he hit her in the stomach, really hard with that blunt axe, I went out that door like a shot, and I said, "Don't you touch that horse again." Boy, I was so mad, I could have just flew in his face. I wasn't really big, but I was in high school because I rode the horse to school. So I was going to Mountain View.
And then you realized what you said and you started shaking like this too, didn't you?
So not only Tarzan, but Opal standing
Well,
there
listen,
shaking.
that was the one time that I defied our McManus, and I meant it.
You was
He
mad.
could have killed me with that axe if he wanted to. I was tired of him mistreating my horse. Well, anyway, that's the only one time that I ever defied my dad, and I defied him.
And he just turned around, walked off and started whistling, didn't
He said, "Oh, Opal, go on back in the house. I won't hit her anymore." And I said, "That's a good thing." And I went on back in the house. I didn't have a weapon or nothing. It was just me.
he? Well, he was treading on what you valued right there, wasn't he?
Oh. And that was the
Well, I'm
only
glad
one
you
I
did
ever
that
did,
time.
because
You
I
did
was
when you
so
beat
afraid.
her out there.
Not when
She'd
you
probably
said
got
my
the
horse.
blatant used on her, wouldn't she?
Only
Oh,
time.
would you ever ride a horse in the rodeo, a bronc,
I rode a steer.
a steer?
It was a Brahma steer.
She heard him
I know we was at the rodeo one night, we was sitting there, I don't remember who it was, and I tried to get Melvin, and he couldn't remember. But we was sitting there, and all at once they said, "Well, this'll be Opal McManus on so-and-so horse."
No, it was on the steer.
So
Brahma
it was
steer.
on the steer, and she come out and rode that steer, and we didn't even know she was riding it or nothing. But this Opal McManus coming out on so-and-so.
Yeah, they had those little rodeos, and I trained at home on the calves, the little calves. Opal McManus, my cousin,
Right.
Opal,
Opal.
the cousin, he would egg me on, to ride those calves. Well, yearling calves. But they were nothing like a Brahma. The Brahma steers. You know what the Brahmas are. They're those big white ones with humps that really buck in the rodeos. And so he kept saying, "Oh, well, I'll see to it that you get a little one whenever. If you'll ride in the rodeo, Opal, I'll see to it that you get a small one and not one of them big ones." You know what happens. But that's if
Now, why would you
If
agree
you
to
would-
do that?
daring.
And wasn't there some money involved here?
Oh, yeah, maybe $1 or $2.
It costs
If you could.
so much to enter, they clumped them
I
all
think it
together
is.
and then
Didn't
taking
cost much.
prize money out of it.
But you had to ride it so many,
8 seconds,
whatever.
8 seconds now.
I didn't ride it that long.
All you got was your pride hurt,
I think I got a couple of dollars out of it or something. But the prize was like maybe $10 or something, if you could stay. But,
But they just taken that out of the contest money.
yeah, oh, yeah.
It's so much, costs you so much to enter. Just got that all together and then take the prizes out of that.
Yeah.
It
The
was
whole
just a
thing I remember, we sat
small
up there in the
town.
grandstand, and they said, Opal Bank man, it's on so-and-so. Dang, that's my cousin.
I was crazy to do that. I could have broke a leg or, you know, worse. But Opal, he was gonna fix it.
Mother, you never did tell me you were riding
Yeah,
the rodeo.
Betty, there's probably several things I've never
I'm hearing a few of them, I'm behind you.
Are you taking notes?
Yes, I am. No
She's
wonder-
got it on film, man.
No
Opal.
wonder I couldn't get away with anything. You are, you knew what to
Knew all
watch
the good
after.
Well, Buck, now you got married up there, didn't you?
Goody Bone?
Goody Boat. And you married Pearl first, didn't you?
Yeah.
Now, y'all were schoolmates, you went to school together?
No, we played ball together with
Softball.
each other on Friday and a whole lot during season. She went to Hopewell and I went to Star, or Cowell Flats.
She went to Star.
Daddy, tell the story about Grandma and wanting that delivery man to move his truck.
Oh, I couldn't tell it like it happened.
Oh, yeah, you can.
What delivery man? We didn't even get any deliveries. Tell me the story, I wanna hear it.
Well, he's delivering to the grocery store.
Okay.
It was fun?
It was a grocery truck delivering to the grocery store?
Some kind of a truck like coffee and they just
Bread.
and all their stuff. Grocery store, of course. But anyhow, she was in the grocery store buying groceries, and one of these delivery trucks pulled up. She parked in front of the store, and this grocery truck pulled up and parked behind her and went unloading his groceries and such not. And before she got he got it all unloaded, while somebody come along, he was standing there with, I remember just as well as
See it in my eyes.
Hey, I'm gonna get over there and rebuttal.
he had his foot up on the front bumper talking to some guy. She sat there a little bit,
Waiting for him to move.
started that old
Dodge.
car,
Chrysler, wasn't it? The old
Chrysler, Brand Chrysler.
Chrysler. She's driving that big old Chrysler. But anyway, this guy was out on the street and blocking her getting out. And she started the engine and sat there and let it run a little. And this guy didn't make no effort to move or anything. And she said, "Well, you move that thing so I can get out of here. I got thrashers today for dinner, and I need to get home and cook some dinner." Yeah, I'll be ready to go. I'll be ready in a few minutes. And so he talked a little bit, and she sat there and gunned the motor a few times, draw his attention. And directly she just ground that old Chrysler in reverse and just roared it out of there, spinning wheel. Bang, it hit that side of that delivery truck. She let it roll back down to the curb, and there she comes a second time. Wait a minute, you better move that damn thing, or I'll knock it down there in the middle of that Washita River.
She was ready to go home, I guess. Oh, man, oh, man.
She had thrashers to cook for us. Now time to wait on them. Move his truck.
She had a little temper that could flare occasionally, couldn't it?
You know, I
Boy,
don't
she
remember
sure-
ever seeing her.
Sure moved him in a hurry. You.
This is she had to have.
But did you ever ride a freight train?
Huh?
Did you ever ride on a freight train?
Uh-oh. Which one? Yeah, I used to grab the freight every once in a while and ride it down to Texas. Oh, I don't know. This Rock Island didn't go very far, but it goes right down to Houston and catch one the next day and ride back.
Get fastened up in a car one time?
Yeah, I did that too.
Now, I don't know this story, Clint. I think you better
does.
draw it out of him here.
Did you have anybody with you, or were you all alone?
Jack Fenner.
Jack Fenner, well, that was good traveling companion.
I was thinking it was Melvin. Wasn't Melvin?
He might have been in it on it too. Seemed like it was.
The story I got is you got fastened up in it. You was in there a couple of days, hadn't had anything to eat or anything, and the train stopped. And you finally beat on the door, and they opened the door up, and you was sitting here in Duncan. And you went down to the store down where Uncle Charlie owned the store. You went down there and asked Uncle Charlie you'd give him something to eat.
Charlie, every day he filled up a bunch of short spare ribs, you know, and cooked them in a big old pot back there. Them guys, railroad bums, eat there a whole lot of the time, anytime they were in Duncan here. They knew Charlie
He was one of the best,
had
wasn't he?
some spare ribs.
Now, Charlie Graham ran a store here,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uncle Ed's brother. Oh, well, that's before my time, didn't know.
yeah, that was before your time.
Well, you were just out for adventure, and that's the way you got your adventure?
Yeah.
Well, we's milking cows.
Is that right?
Yeah, right the rails.
I just heard Dad tell him about you getting off that train.
Did you
boy,
get in
sure
a lot of
was
the milk
hungry.
and
Yeah,
everything?
get some meat.
They
Did
and
she get a lot
Jack
of it
Fenner
in?
and Melvin, with all three, you know, on the job, we rode it down to Houston and then back.
Oh, my goodness. But back then, hobo camps weren't like they are
Oh,
now.
they were
You didn't
lots
have to
of
be
them.
scared to death of them, because lots of people rode the rails during the Depression. Lots of people. And that was before you married.
Yeah,
Earl.
that was before married.
Some people rode the rails, and some people rode steers.
Get the high adventure. See, that back when the kids didn't have to have dope and everything to get their highs.
Now, you're right, Mary. You're sure right.
Well, I guess so.
Well, let's
Good
see.
heavens.
I don't know.
Well, Opal and I started this show one night. We lived up there and come up and the creek was up. Had to wade across the creek and had Betty Rose with us. She was about 3 years old. And I had to carry Betty Rose, wade that water and carry her across that water. Opal said, she can't wade it, then you'll have to carry her. Everywhere I went, Betty Rose followed. Everywhere I go, she'd follow.
Well, did you
Still
get-
does, here she is behind you.
Still does. Did you get you a girlfriend while you was up at Mountain View, or do you have all these girlfriends?
No, I had one down there. Forgot what her name was.
Yeah, your wife's sitting right beside you. You went-
Ask him after a while, he'll tell you her name and her middle initial.
Middle initial.
Oh.
No, it's one that, I guess it's Evelyn. Not Evelyn, but Lavina had her girlfriend. She'd come home with.
That's about the right age, yeah.
What was her name? Do you ever remember? She had been, in fact, I'd taken her in that old car and taken her home one time. And then the car quit and I had to walk back home.
Wasn't no fun no more when that car
Yeah, he's told me about that.
Oh, them were the days. I wouldn't say good old days, but them were the days.
Yeah.
Well, that's one reason, I guess, we got together and went down to Houston and back. I just broke up with Irene. I don't know whether they even remember her name. Roark.
Oh, right, yeah, there was a roar. Roar. She was a nice girl, but her
Has he
family.
told you about Irene?
No,
Her
I
family.
heard about Irene.
Mama was against it though.
Yeah, Mama was good.
Because they was kind of figured lower class of
Yeah,
people
her-
than we were.
She was a really nice, pretty girl, but she came from a bad family. And so mother said, don't break that up before it goes too far.
She did too.
There's a song about Irene.
Good night, Irene.
thought that Uncle Laura and those was rich because they had that big brown Chrysler car.
Yeah,
Come-
that big
Come
old
to our house
airplane.
on vacation. Boy, they're rich.
And that big house and that big car.
Yeah.
I remember one time Uncle Larry drove a new car down
Oh,
to Gailey,
By the carload to feed the turkeys.
and he drove it there, and he left it out of gear, and it rolled down there by the barn and went down in a ditch, and down a bunch of big rocks and everything. Well, I mean, them fenders was big. Yes. I don't know why he didn't put it in gear, you know, he just drove it there, left it out of gear, and down through there it went.
What's this mean when this light's on?
There's,
They're got their own way.
so that we can see the lighting isn't that, you know, that light.
I see.
So it's just extra light.
Can you flip that off and on when they get ready?
That's what they will.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. All we got to
Now the
say.
little red one on the bottom's a blinking.
That's 'cause it's on. It's recording.
It's recording now.
Uh-huh. Oh, the tape's been rolling. And Opal, tape's been rolling since we sat down.
I'll think of another tall tale in a minute.
Tell all you, tell,
Show your husband.
Oh, boy, if he ever gets hold of those tapes, huh?
Well, tell me what all y'all remember about Grandpa Odom. See, he passed away in 42, and I was just barely
All right, if I
7.
can get out of that, well, we're
So
not.
you were telling about Grandpa last night, the story about the panther.
Oh, yeah.
And see, I don't know if Buck's heard that story now about Grandpa. He lived with us he'd live with us for a while, and he'd go visit Clint's mother, Aunt Beulah, but he didn't live with Aunt Beulah. He'd live with Mother, and he'd live with Aunt Ada. And so I guess, Clint, what would you say? The last 5 years of his life, he was between Mother and Aunt Ada?
Yeah.
Something like that?
You know, one time, I remember one time that, Uncle Kerry told him to go help him cut some wood. And, he wasn't able, or didn't feel like doing it. He said, "By God, you either help me or get out of here."
Oh, no. Uncle Kerry was
Kerry said
plain
that?
spoken.
So, Uncle Kerry, Grandpa then come to stay with Aunt Rose and I guess he stayed with him then on till he died.
Well, he died in 42. Were you in the Navy in 42?
No, I went in 43. And
I
really
remember
42,
when he passed
October.
away.
Yeah, it was in October 42.
And when did you die?
In December 7th of 1942. I don't remember. I
Yes,
think
he
you
was
took
in-
that picture, you know, that group picture we have in front of what we call the
The
car
barn, the
shed.
car shed that Bud
Mhm.
built, and,
Yeah.
That
You
was at the
were-
funeral.
No, it was the Thanksgiving before he died the next December. He looked real bad in that picture, but it was almost a year prior. You know, he got so thin and so humped. The WC and Juanita plan on being here tomorrow, but you'll
Oh.
notice on WC, he's just like Aunt Ada and like Grandpa used to be, just so humped over. But she remembers more. Of course, I was a little kid, and I heard a few things, but most of the things I don't remember Grandpa Odom telling, except the story about eating with the Indians, and eating the little, so I'll tell the story. But he told this when I was a little kid, and it just shocked me, so I've remembered it ever since he told it. He said there was an Indian family that lived over nearby him down at Gailey. And he said that he had went by to see how they were and visit with them, and said the Indian people said, "Come on in and eat with us. We just got supper, just got dinner ready." And he said, "Oh, no, I'll get on home." His wife's name was Eliza. He said, "Eliza's got food ready." "Oh, no, come on in and eat with us." So he said, "Okay, I will." So he went in and they sat down and they had roast pork and they had hominy, and that was kind of an Indian tradition type thing. and he was sitting there eating, and now what I'm fixing to say, everybody grab hold of your seat. He said, there's two little puppies come across. See, the back door was open, and two little puppies came in.
Very low battery. There's Betty Rose. Turn around this way, Betty Rose. Oh.
I can kiss her without even having a camera. So, yeah, you go away?
Got one more on yours?
One more, you can wear your lips there. Yeah, let's do that again.
Oh, gee. Well, now that's.
I'll probably run it out.
Did you?
That's right. There goes Debbie.
Thanks a lot.
That's it.
Gotta do it the sneaky way. There's Arlene. There goes Uncle Jack. There's Roy.
Honey, my son,
Yeah, Debbie's backside. Now Opal's 80, so how old are you?
he's not gonna tell you.
Well, I'll ask you.
He'd be 4 years older,
Okay.
pretty quick.
Pretty good. Well, I thought he was the oldest. I really didn't. Keep them in line.
Have you taken them off?
There's Jack.
I didn't want to say that in the road till tomorrow. Take the road down road.
Oh my.
There's Aunt Heidi.
Oh my. Oh my.
There's Mom.
Well, I said if somebody would roll me over after a while, I'd go lay down somewhere. So full and miserable, I'd have to be rolled over.
Got everything with that clean.
Charlene and Aunt Cotton.
That's really.
Hello, hello.
Hello,
Film me, film me. Say your names.
My name's Angel. Hi, everybody. Guy, Junior.
And Guy.
Here Tuesday morning, I forget which
How's she
one
doing
it
around,
was.
or did she quit?
No, she's still in there, thank goodness.
Still in?
Yeah, they're not marching, you know, doing all the stuff they were doing last fall when the football season was on, but they're in what's called a concert band. And so she said, I may not do the concert next year, but I do want to still be in the marching band, the first part. See, they've got, it's called marching band first semester and concert second. And I said, whatever, just play band.
Big bass?
Yeah. Just take it one day, one semester at a time, one trip at a time, you know.
Okay, you filmed enough.
She's run off.
It's enough.
Can the camera?
People in their cameras.
Camera can it?
But I know she took a few.
All day.
Hey, she can see his feet. Yeah, he's out by the truck.
Oh, the car is skipping.
I tried and I don't like that.
Yeah, I'll be here. Part of it.
And then, you gotta get in there and get over one.
You can sit over here, Fern.
Here comes Fern.
That sounds good.
What is?
Your music.
You want to bite of it?
Play that first song again, Daddy.
Go get my glasses, okay?
Play that first song again. All right.
Daddy, how'd you start playing the harmonica?
When?
When and how? How come you started playing it?
I don't know.
Something to do.
That's what I figured you'd say, James. I figured you'd say something to do. Where'd you learn how to play it, Daddy?
On the back porch of Mountain View.
How old were you?
Outside of an evening and you just played?
I just sit down there in the evening when it's getting kind of late and try to play for a little while till bedtime. Somebody did holler, "Shut that thing off! Time to go to bed."
Is that the way you learned to play the guitar?
I think it is.
Yeah, they both together.
Here we go. You got your guitar around? Here we go. We're recording.
Did you hear what she asked you?
I think he's ignoring it.
He's good at that.
Where's your guitar?
Oh, it's fell apart.
Oh.
Now, Daddy?
Okay.
What?
Tell stories like that.
Here's James.
I do think the strings are bad on it, Rosetta. It's been so long since you played it.
Are they?
You said something about it a few weeks ago.
Say something. Hello. And here we are sitting in the living room. It's almost 1 o'clock. We're getting ready to go to Aunt Cotton's
And eat.
and eat.
You haven't got anything to play?
Nothing I wanna whistle.
Where's it
You
too?
want me to do
I
that
don't
in
want you
there?
to do that in it.
It's too big to fall out.
Where can I pour it? Where can I pour it?
I think we're gonna see if that white big yellow bowl's up here. It's square Corningware. Is that there?
Okay. There's Mom and Arlene. They're cooking away. We're getting ready to go eat over at Aunt Cotton's.
Well, I wanna.
Why don't you turn this one over here off?
That's all I want to spend for.
There's Roy. He's passing through.
What's that do, break the camera?
Here he goes. No.
But it's easier to cut it down.
No, right there, Roy, is where they are.
Huh?
At the end in that box there. At the end of, no, that box there, right there.
So it's built this here?
Okay, now this man saying.
Is Dad Opal? And Opal opening up her presents.
I think it is. I think Mary brought that to me.
Who's all that from? She's
You gonna look at that one?
Mother, flashing that Colgate.
The
Colgate. I got asparagus in my teeth.
Oh, sorry about that.
What are they doing over
There's that was Uncle Jack. And there he goes.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, God bless you. Happy birthday to you. Now we got everybody. And many more. You got many more. Get over there.
Having fun?
We've been great. She's all young. Uncle Jack.
As Uncle Jack, oh, he did. He's taking a picture of the picture.
Boy, I hate that.
Who is she?
Who's
I got you 4 years.
What?
I've never seen such a celebrity.
Not quite free.
One of the Grahams.
Oh, me.
Here's that Opal. Pamela. Oh, I think this battery is low. I see a picture of the battery. There's Betty Rose. Turn around this way, Betty Rose. Oh.
I can kiss her without even having a camera. So are you ready to go away?
Got one more on yours?
One more, you can wear your lips. Yeah, let's do that again.
I'll probably run in half.
That's right. There.
Do something else.
We're gonna sing a Silent Night. Okay. Papa, get in a picture.
Get your tanner, guy. Looks like somebody died. Can you get by without the light?
Yeah.
Pick it up. Pick it up.
He sings to the music. Song. Wake up.
Don't mess with that. That's the turner.
When is your fog up?
That's just the lock. Right here's the crank over here.
What does this do? We had our Christmas dinner. What's normal?
Okay, open it. There you go. No, you know what's that, Tim? You know what's that? I wonder what it is. I wonder what it is. I'm going to see what it is. I wonder what it is. I wonder what it is. Remember when the kids used to try to blind you? What is it? What's the matter?
Really, a sweater.
Who was that from?
No, it was from Waco. Go give Waco sugars for that sweater. Go give him sugars. Thank you, Waco.
No, it's from Waco.
It's to you. It's yours.
Okay. Thank you. Use the sweater.